Do you see my screen?
Yes, able to see.
So yesterday we are trying to explore on solutions, right? Let's continue that today.
Okay.
So let's go back to my environment LUT day. So yesterday I was facing some issues, right? So what I did, I just reset my environment. So whenever you do the reset, what will happen? It will just clear all data, everything. So we were working on 10 days, more than 10 days, right? So it got lot of junk. So I did a reset yesterday. So what happened? Environment was reset to this our morning. So it will be like a fresh now. So it won't have any your changes, previous changes, anything. Okay. So you won't have any apps. So anyway, we are going to learn on solution export and import, right? So that's not a blocker for us. We will continue to do that. So why do we need a solution? Why do we need to export? Because in general real-time scenarios, developers will be working in one environment and they have to move their changes, whatever the component, whatever the app they created, that has to be go for real end user, right? So the real end users will work in the production environment. So in between, you will have a test environment, UAT environment based upon the project operations. So few teams have separate UAT team. They will validate the end-to-end functionality. UAT means user acceptance test. So in the UAT environment, someone from the business team, they will check your changes. Suppose if you created a function app, if you created a model-driven app, they will validate, did you develop as per the business requirement? Is it working as per the business requirement? Like that, they will do the validations. So once they give sign off, the changes will be moved to the production. Now, so to move your changes from one environment to another, we should need something, right? So that is solution. Solution is a container in the CRM where it can have the multiple components. It could be app, it could be a table, it could be a flow, it could be a process, like that. You can have anything. So that's why we will be doing solutions. Okay. So today we will be learning what are the ways we have for solution movement from across environment. Now if you see, I just created one sample solution. I don't have anything here. So in this solution, same like yesterday, I'm going to create a one more new table with advanced properties. Okay. The same name I'm going to use because anyway, it's a new solution, right? It won't give any issues because everything is a brand new. Now I'm creating a new table. So this is ready. Now I want this environment to be available in some other environment. I have multiple environment, right? So same like yesterday, I'm going to use LUT service app as a target. Let's for now. So here I have added my table. So to move the solution, we have two ways. One is manual way, where you will be doing all the things manually, like some dev lead or manager, they will be deploying the solution from manually from one environment to another environment. The another is CI/CD pipeline. CI/CD pipeline means if they have Azure DevOps, if they have Jira in that repos, they will be creating the pipelines. So pipeline will do automatically. You will raise a pull request. Automatically, the build pipeline will trigger. Automatically, release pipeline will trigger like that. So today we are going to learn only manual. Okay. For manual deployment, you have to choose this solution. Once you choose the solution, here if you see, you could see the export solution option. So you need to just click on this export option. As I just created the solution, I don't have any individual component. I don't need to publish. If you publish also, nothing will happen. That's a good practice only. Now here I'm just checking. Now if you see, while exporting, you are getting first thing current version, then 4-digit number. So in the CRM, basically it will follow this structure. So the 4-digit significant, like what is the last digit is about, what is the version for revision? Is it a small change, very small change if you use for last digit? So build change means suppose you are giving some upgrade to the existing solution. In such scenario, you will be using build. Minor means it is about feature level. You are giving some new add-on feature to the existing functionality, like that. And the major release, major will be like if you are changing some, creating, adding some new functionality to your thing, they will be using the digit change. Okay, you don't need to bother that much about the version, yeah, current version numbers. So each project will have their own. You can process, you can follow as per the existing. Now here, if you see, you have two options. One is export as managed and export as unmanaged. Now, if you see here, there itself they are suggesting the solution is moving to test or production environment. Use this. The solution is moving to another development environment or a source control. What do you mean by this? So basically, so we just told, right, solution is nothing but a container of components. Suppose if you don't, your components shouldn't be manipulated or modified by anyone. In that scenario, you will be user managed. So if you use managed solution means that is like a completely packed. You can't make any change on the component. That's the way for managed. Again, for unmanaged, if you use unmanaged, so they can create a new field on the table. They can make changes to the form like that. Like that, we will have the control. So in general, in all our environments, we will be using unmanaged. For the production, we will be deploying managed. Okay. So now I'm selecting unmanaged. Now, if you see here, it is showing currently exporting solution. My basic solution name, and the version number. As I'm doing first time, I have given 1.0.0. That's fine. Okay. Now, meanwhile, let's go to the target environment here. Let's assume LUTC service app is my target. So if you see in this also, if you click on the solutions, you could see few options. Okay, what are the options? You can create a new solution. You can import a solution. You can have an open app source, publish all customization, set for photo, see history. Okay. So now we will, if you, as we are want to deploy the component from another environment, right? So for that purpose, you will be using this import solution. Suppose if you want to install any external app from the Microsoft source, you will be using this open app source. Okay. And if you see here, you have publish all customizations. So whenever you do publish all customization, this will do what it will do. It will publish every change in your local to server. Okay. Now we set preferred solution. If you want to use any solution as a preferred, so for that purpose, you can be using. Okay. Now if you see the C history. So in this solution history, it will have the entire history about solutions, whether it could be a out of the box solution or Oracle custom solution. Every solution update, it will appear here. Okay. Now if you see my solution exported successfully. So once it's exported successfully, a download button will appear here. You need to click on the download. It will get download here. Now it is in my local. Now if you go to the target environment solution, the home page, solution home page, you have this import solution, right? You have to choose this browse option. So in the browse, you will be selecting the zip file, whatever the zip file you download just. Now you're clicking on import. So what will happen? Whatever the environment, whatever the table you created in the LUT dev environment, you are moving that environment to target. So this is my target. So here I'm just selecting enable plugin steps flow including the solution. If you have any plugins, if you keep this checked, it will be enabled. Otherwise, they will be turned off. Okay, just clicking on importing. So inserting importing, it will take some time to import. So So what will happen once you import? So whatever the changes you have it in the dev environment, those will be moved to target. Okay. So right now we just added table, right? So how can you see your table change? If you search in the containers, you would be getting this, right? So if you see container, you have this container. Okay. Now after solution successful, if I check in the tables, I would have the same data, same table. So you need to remember one more thing. With the help of solutions, you can move the components. You can't move the data. So what it table will have data and the table component, right? So with help of solutions, you can just move the components only. Suppose in this environment, if you have 10 records, that won't move. To move them, you have to use Excel import, Excel export. That we have seen, right? So with help of solutions, we will just move the framework, not the records or data. So let it down. So meanwhile, suppose for this container, I want to have a record. So you can record directly from here in the. So every day what we are doing, we are creating a record from the app. We are just adding this table to the form and we are just creating a form and we are creating the records. But here what I'm doing, I'm not using form. From the maker portal, you are having this table, right? I just opened my container. Here I'm giving the name. So if you want to like that, you can create records from backend. But in general, this will be developer perspective. No, because the maker portal itself is available for developers. It won't available for real end users, right? So if you want to modify any master data or any table data, you can use this way. From the tables, you can click on these columns. If you want, you can add the columns, whatever the columns you want to show. Everything it will be select. You can click on select all as well. So if you say click on this, everything will be displayed. Okay, any questions here? Now, so now I created some change. I created one table. I just moved to target. Now, next thing I want on the same solution, I'm creating one more component. Okay, suppose in the same environment, I just created a new page or a new column. So for that purpose, I'm just creating a new solution. Okay, my basic solution, or you are giving some other name. My September changes. You are just selecting publishers. Now here, this time what you want to do, you want to modify existing table information, suppose. So here I'm just choosing add existing. I'm gonna select my table. So what is my table? Container, right? So here I'm selecting container. So for the target environment, we already deployed my table solution. Now, as you already deployed, you don't want to include all the changes, right? You want to include whatever the changes you are making recently. So for that purpose, what you should use, instead of include all objects, you should uncheck this one. You can select the objects what you want to move. Suppose we are making only, you are creating you create one column. In such scenario, you will be selecting a new column or you created a new form. In such scenario, you will be selecting like that. Okay. Suppose everything you haven't do anything, you want to add nothing. You want to create a new thing. So in such scenario, you will just click on add with empty. So once it is added, the table will be added, but it won't have anything because you haven't selected anything. Columns will be empty, relationships will be empty, keys will be empty. Now what I want to do, I want to create a new column for this entity. So I'm just creating September change column. So let's single line of test only, don't make it complex. Now if you see the basic solution is imported, if you go to tables, all tables, a container will be also available. LUT container, yesterday we imported C container. This is a new one. Okay. I'm deleting the other one to avoid confusion. Now what I'm doing today, I created a new column. So this time what you will do, now you want to move this new change to the target. So what you will do again, as we are doing manually, you will just selecting this solution, creating export. And if you see here, now it is asking missing required unmanaged components. The following components are missing from your solution. The exported solution may not work as intended. It is recommended to add the following. So what does that mean? In the target environment, if you don't have the container table, you can't add the column, right? So it is asking like, are you really missing or you already deployed the change? Like that it is asking. So as we already moved the container table, I'm just unchecking it, skip step. So now what earlier I made a change. Now I'm adding some column and I'm deploying. So in that scenarios, you will be using 1.00 some 1 or you can create a 2 point. I will explain. Now you are making unmanaged, clicking on the export. So it will create. So what will happen now? Again, a zip file will be downloaded. You have to import to the target. Okay. Now if you go to solutions, we need to select this. Let it wait. So now tell me, suppose if you here first time you have given my basic solution name. Now you are giving my September. After certain next month you will be creating some more name. So are these not a standard, right? You don't know, right? For which solution you are working for, who is working on everything. They have to open component and they need to see what they have added. If it is one component, you can see it. But if you have multiple, that will be difficult to manage, right? So for that purpose, we have a concept here. Let me import and tell that. Now I'm just importing and adding. So here also, I'm just giving a different version. I just selected the default options, imported. So now what will happen? For my table column, a new column will be appear. Okay. So let me show it in the target first, source first, then you could understand. So tables, columns. I'm not using any app intentionally because to aware this backend structure. Okay, here I'm selecting container, and in the columns we created one column, right? So if you choose here one more, select all. What is my September change? This is the one, right? So you can select this one. So you have a column. So I want to check the same in target once it is succeeded. So till now what you are doing, you are creating the names randomly. But to maintain a, so here if you see, for the second time you created a complete new friend name and you have given your own version. But in general, if you take this as a scenario, for a parent solution, for the parent component, you are adding a sub component, right? So this is not a whole change. The second solution is not a complete different change, right? It's a part of first one only. For that purpose, what we will do, we will be creating clone solutions. Okay. Now, if you see here, if you see these options, you have edit, delete, plan, solution, export solution, deploy, solution checker, show dependencies. And if you see here, you have a clone a patch, clone a solution. So what is this clone a patch, clone a solution means? So For the small component of the parent one, you just created the complete brand new solution. You have given your own name, everything, right? To avoid the such kind of usage, here in the parent solution, you can create a clone up patch. Whenever you do a clone up patch, like that, it will ask as my base solution is starting from 10. Here it will give me option to edit these numbers. So I'm keeping the as is by default. I'm just creating a new clone up patch. So what will happen now? A new solution is created, empty solution with the same name. But if you see here, version, it is 1.0.0. In this says it is a like 1.0.10, some child solution. Okay. Now if you see the schema name also, it will have something suffix. Okay. 1 second. How to expand this? So if you see my basic solution patch underscore some GOD. So like this, a new solution will be created. Still that will reference to the basic the base solution. So with this solution, what I can do, I can add my own child components instead of creating a new brand solution for this. What I will do, I will create my components, the child components for the table or whatever the component. Okay, you will be using patch like that. Any questions in understanding patch? So I just added nothing. Now if you see this is successfully. If you go to tables, you will be having the containers. If you go here, you could see the last September change. Where is my September? You have September change column. So like this, it will reflect it. Now what I'm doing, I'm creating a one more child component. Let's assume that is a form. Yeah, Ashok, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Harish, is there any specific size limit for the if you have a solution for one environment to another environment?
Yeah, we have that limit. 96 MB, some limitation is there, but in general, they will be having they will be segregating. For cloud flows, they will be creating one solution. For JavaScript, they will be creating one solution. For CRM form changes, field changes, they will be creating one solution.
So each and everything there is a limit size is there, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So environment to environment also same or different kind of thing, like dev to test to prod, like kind of stuff.
So everything is a Microsoft product, right? So
Yeah.
everything have a same limitation
Okay.
because
While
we are
if
using
you
a
integration any third party kind of things like Oracle to data integration prospect also there is also limit also is there limitation.
what do you mean by Oracle to I didn't get
So
that.
data import and export kind of stuff.
That is a different. We are just moving components across environments,
Oh,
right?
oh yeah, components and that also same or is any different kind of thing.
That is a different scenario. There also,
Okay.
if you have 10 million records, if you have 100 million records, based upon the size, you will have the timeout options, everything, right? Backend, whenever you are importing, the timeout will happen. You need to make sure like connection is reconnecting, everything. That is a
Yeah,
complete different concept.
okay.
So with the solutions, we are just moving components, the
Yeah, yeah.
framework.
Components we are moving one environment to another environment.
Yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
moving data from one environment to another environment, SQL to CRM to SQL, that is completely different.
Okay.
Um, so what I did now, just I created a patch solution for my base solution. I just installed, sorry, just created a new form. So for my, I just created a new form, right? So this is my one component. Now I want to move this component. Now also you will be using the same structure. Instead of base solution, you will be using patch. Okay. So you may ask, what is the difference between using a new solution and using a patch solution for exporting importing? Because we are doing the same process here and there. Okay. So if you do on your own, you will be creating various names, and I am not sure like whether this whether this new solution is a part of the base solution or it's a complete new, or I can't conclude, right? Until I see the components. Whereas if you use this patch version, you clearly know like this is a child of the base solution. So you can clearly identify like I am not moving all my changes. I'm moving one small component from for that base solution like that. So by seeing name itself, you can identify. Now if you see now also it is expecting missing required, but we already did, right? So I'm just excluding that. Skip step. So here unmanaged. If you want, you can keep the same number 1.0 or you can move it. That's not a up to your wish. Exporting. Now, like that, you will be for small changes, you will be creating multiple solutions. So after certain time, it will be like a bigger, right? So how to merge all of them? So for that purpose, if you see, we have this clone patch. One second. In the base solution, if you see, you have clone solution. If you clone a solution, what will happen? It will merge all childs to the base solution. Okay. Let me wait first. Suppose you go to here. Initially, my basic solution, if you consider this size, my base solution size, properties. So this is the size some 7 KB, smaller only. Now what I did, I just created a patch solution, added only my form, right? So for this field change, you have 2 KB. Let's download that form change as well. So we will see. So why? Because you are right now you are working with one entity, but in the real time you will be working for multiple entities. You will be adding cloud processes, flows, everything, right, in solution. So that time the size shouldn't be impacted, right? So if you use this process, the help is like every time you don't need to impact, every time you don't need to import and export the base solution, which is in a bigger size. If you create a patch, those will be like a smaller. So if you see this is 3 KB because this is a form, but comparatively less, right? This is 7 KB, right? So comparatively less. Now, what I am going to do, I'm just exporting, I'm importing this, my patch solution to target. I'm going to solutions, clicking on import solution, browse my basic solution patch, importing. Now, importing, it will take some time. Okay. Now let's go back to our source. So for in the scenarios, I will be creating multiple solutions like this. My basic, I will be creating one more clone solution, clone a patch. So that will be 1.0.20. After some time, I will be creating one more. So if you keep on creating for every month, if you do, so after certain time, you will be having lot of, suppose if you have 6, 7, right? So again, the components you will be confused, right? In which solution you are not sure like which component is there. So after a certain period, what they will do in the real time, every 6 months, they will club the all child solutions to the base solution. So how do they do? Now if you see, this is clone patch 31, two, we have one base solution, two child solutions are there, right? If you click on this clone a solution, it will create, earlier it was allowing these two numbers. It is allowed to edit these two numbers. Now if you see, create a new version of the selected unmanaged solution. Any patches that have been created will be rolled up into newly created solution. Means the newly created form. If you see here, do you have that form, newly created form? Here you have only 3 forms that are default created. It's already played down. You cannot directly return. Now, if I clone a solution, what will happen? It will just roll up into the newly created solution. So whatever the solutions we created child solutions, everything will be merged and they will be go. Okay. Now if you see those the two solutions, whatever we created child, those are gone. Now every component which you created, that will be come to here only. Now, so if you see the form, you have already seen. If you see the column also, what is my column? September column, right? So this is also added to my base solution. So rolling up clone solution means it will just club the child into parent. Okay. Any questions? Now if you see, now also in the target environment you have the same scenario. So to merge these changes, what you can do, you can simply use clone a solution here as well. So it will just club it. Okay. So like this way, we will be creating the patch solution and we will be use the clone solution to combine all of them. Any questions still unmanaged solutions? Shivendra, Nikhil, Cyclian. Now we have just created normal table, right? For the same thing, you can add an app. Okay. So for if you add app also, it won't the behavior won't change. The only thing the component size will be increased. The zip solution will be like more weighted. Now I'm adding a new table. Sorry, I already table. I just create a new app, model of an app. Look, creating this. I am adding my entity container entity. Sorry, I'm creating in service app. Okay. I have to create my okay. Let's take this service app as a another dev environment. We will move it to somewhere else. Okay. No worry. So I just adding my container table here. So my September week something I'm not doing anything much. I'm not renaming even this label size well. That's fine. I'm just making save. So now what I want to do, whatever you have in this service app, you will be moving to LUT sales, let's assume. So this time what I will do, instead of unmanaged, I will be using managed. Where did I add created app? Okay. Now here I'm just selecting this app. I'm exporting my changes. So if you want to publish, you can do a publish. It will publish all customizations, the components, whatever you have it in. So as I create a new app, right? That's what is taking time. That's not a issue. Publish all customizations. So what did we learn? If we use managed, we can't able to change the solutions, right? So let's see this. So meanwhile, I will open my another environment. Let's assume that my new target environment is like LUT sales. So here I want to create. Okay, now I'm just click on the next. Checking for missing components. It won't give any because you have app. You just added the table everything. But if you see MSN app framework, something it is asking. So what are these? You are creating a app, right? Model driven app. These are the out of the box expectations. Let's have them. Now this time what you are doing, you are selecting managed instead of unmanaged. Now if you export this, you will get a zip file. Nothing difference except the type. Now if you see for the whatever the solution you are exporting, you are it is having just name and version prefix. But now what will happen? You will have my basic solution name and version, then you will have a managed suffix. Okay. Now this is ready. I'm clicking download. So earlier case, what's the format it is giving? Solution and if it's a patch, it is giving patch. Otherwise, solution and version. Now if we see solution version for the as it is a managed, it is having managed suffix. Okay. Now I'm importing this to LUT sales import solution. So I'm selecting my basic solution managed one, clicking on next. So here you are just selecting everything, upgrade of my solutions. Okay. So this will take some time to import. Now the scenario is like what we learn if you use managed solution, you can't make changes to the components. What do you mean it? Suppose if you open the cycle and this is a unmanaged. This is the solution created here. If you see here in the unmanaged section, it is there. If you open it, here you can create all new option, add existing option. All the buttons will be visible. But if you open managed solution, this button will be like disabled. Now, if you see in this cycle and sprint, you have all the you have options to add all components. You can add all existing. You can do whatever one. But if you go to any managed solution like this, you can't directly edit the objects within a managed solution. If the managed properties are solution subject under customization, you can edit them from another managed unmanaged solution. So if you see the new button, add existing, everything will be gray out. So what does it mean? In the unmanaged, in the managed solution, you can't make changes. So let's wait for our this one. Let it create. Mhm. Now this is in the my basic solution. You just exported as a managed and imported to the sales environment. So, so in any solution, whatever the changes you do, those will be like cumulative. Everything will be added. But I want to delete a field. Suppose mistakenly I created a my September column field that is went to production as well. That is there in the production as well. Now I want to delete that field. So for that purpose, we will be using manage solution options only. So what we will be use? So first thing in the dev environment, you will be deleting that component. It could be a field or anything. Why it is taking this much time? Currently importing. So the now my new field this one, right? Now I want this field to be deleted in the target. So whatever the components you are creating, those are like adding, right? Everything is like cumulative. Now, if you want to delete in the lower environment, you will be doing manually, like delete from this environment. But in the target environment, you have it in a unmanaged solution. Here, you can't able to make any changes to this component, right? Here, if you have any table, it will be shown, but you are not able to edit it. Then how do you delete in the target? So while working with managed solutions, we have an option called update solution, upgrade solution, and stage for upgrade. There will be three options will be there. Okay. First, if we install this change, yes, now it is completed import successfully. Now, if you go to manage, you will have this managed solution. Here you will have the components. So if you see, it is clearly saying you can't make any changes to this component. Means if you go to here, column, do you able to create a new column from here for this table? You can't create a new column. You can't add existing column. So if you use managed version, it will be restrict like this. So no one can make changes to my table. Like that, they will control. Okay. Now if you see, I'm just click on my September form. It is opening. This is a form is a managed solution cannot be deleted. So you can't make it anything. Okay. So like that, it will restrict. Now, if we want to make any change in this base solution, again, you have to commit from the source only. From the developer environment, you have to come. So I want to delete this September change column and I want to create a new field. Okay. So this September change column will be it will fail because it is unable to delete. Why? Because it is using object dependence exist. Please review before editing. If you click on this deleting dependencies, it will say you can't delete column while following objects on dependent. What is that object? My September form. It is it. It's using. So you have to go to form. You need to remove that field from the form. Then you can delete. You need to try to delete. Delete. It go on, right? I am making save and publish. So now what I will do? I just fill it. I want to delete the field, right? So what is my field? September change column. Select this, remove, delete from the environment. Now it will delete successfully because it doesn't have any dependency. So dependent any form or any field or any relationship, you should first delete the references. then only it will possible. Now what I'm doing, I just deleted that this field in my dev environment. Here I can't delete directly because it's a managed solution. So how should I delete? If you select this also, it won't give anything. Remove is disabled, so I can't delete directly. So for that purpose, what you will do, you will use the upgrade option. Okay. So my this basic solution, I remove the field. I'm exporting this solution as managed. This time I'm changing the version number, clicking on next, making a new version number. That's okay. I'm exporting this. So whatever the clone option, clone to solution, everything we tried, right? The same thing you can apply for unmanaged, managed both. The clone concept, clone a patch, clone a solution. So for managed solution, you can use that option. For unmanaged solutions, you can use that option. Exported successfully, clicking on download. It will download a zip file. Now going to target. Now I'm importing solution again. So first time, as you are doing for the first time, it didn't ask you the options. Do you want to update or do you want to override? But it will ask now because you have a basic this you have a solution already in this system, and it knows this is already exists. Okay, now if you see here, it is giving the options. What you want to do? Upgrade your solution to the latest version. Any objects not present in the newest solution will be deleted. That is upgrade. Upgrade stage for upgrade. Upgrade your solution to the higher version, but defer this deletion of previous version and any related patches until you obtain an upgrade later. That's a rare scenario we won't use. The next thing is update. Replace your older version with this one. So with this, if you use update option, it won't delete. It will just like a adding. If it will do, it can do the addition only. It can't do overrides. Override means if it is deleted, it can't delete. But if you create a new field, it will add. So the difference between upgrade and update is both are adding new components, but upgrade will what will do? If any component is not present in the target, that will be deleted. So now I want to delete it, right? So I'm using solution action upgrade. Getting or any confusion? Okay. Important. Imported successfully. Now what will happen? If you look for a container, you won't have the field September column. Do you have the September column? It got deleted. So if you want to make any changes to the managed solution, you have to do it in the dev environment, the source environment. Then you have to import the changes. Okay. Now, my next thing is I want to make this created by column to something else. Okay. So for that also I can't make change directly here because this is managed. So what I will do, I will go to my target source environment. Here I will make edit. Here you can make changes. This is unmanaged. So here I'm gonna edit it. Created by instead of created by what should I put origin, something origin owner I'm putting. So I'm exporting. Now, what did I say just now? You can use same clone clone patch for patch option for manager and manager, right? Now, if you see patch solution created successfully, now you're gonna import this in this target. Import solution. We don't need to download this. We have to export. Okay. So I have to add my change here. So what's my change? Table. I want to add my existing column, which I modified the display name. So look for my table first. Click on next. Don't include all objects because I already have it. Columns, I'm just keeping origin owner only. Add. Okay, now this is added. Only small field. Now what I will do now, I have to export this to target. So export solution. Click on next. Container, I'm including this because I know already container table is there. Now also, if you see for this patch also it is asking managed or unmanaged. You are going to use managed because my target has managed. Suppose if you select unmanaged and import, it will fail because the both parent version, child versions are not matching, right? So it will fail. Any questions? My basic solution managed zip. Now I'm going to import here. My basic solution managed patch. Which one is latest? This one, right? Managed 1.1. Click on import. Now if you see while importing base solution, it was asking the options. But while importing patch solution, it is not asking. What does it mean? Patch itself kind of a child component you are adding. So it won't replace anything, right? So what's the sense? So to make move your small changes, you will be using patch. If we want to do override or add complete change, you will be using the base solution. Any questions? So currently importing solution. Importing my basic solution only we have. So if you see here, you could see unmanaged, managed sections and direct. In all, it is showing everything. In the managed, it is showing only managed. Mhm. posted successfully. Now if you see here you have both basic solution patch, basic solution original. Now if you go to components, any of them, either it could be a parent or child. If you open that origin created on, that will be modified, created by origin owner. It is modified, right? So like this, you will be moving changes packed, unpacked. Packed means managed, unpacked means unmanaged. Okay. Any questions still here? Now here also I can club after certain time. If you want to group everything, you can use a clone. What is it? Clone upgrade. Okay, okay. So from the target environment, you have to merge this. Okay. Now what you will do in that case, here you will be creating clone a solution and you will be combining in this target while exporting and importing the target, you will be choose like update. So everything will be like overridden with all new added components. Clone solution successfully. Now if you see you have it is combined already. Now I'm going to export as a managed again. Click on next, managed. I'm just changing the version number. Automatically, if you see the numbers are upgrading, you don't need to do anything explicitly. You just remember how it's working. Now I am doing managed exporting. So in the target, I will be, as this is the base solution, right? So it will ask option, what kind of import you need to do? Do you want to do update? Do you want to do upgrade? Do you want to do stage for upgrade? So stage for upgrade means that will install, but it won't apply immediately. After some time also you can do upgrade option like that. Any questions here? Rizwan.
No.
So where do we use solutions? Hello. Okay, solution may exported successfully. Click on download. Now here I'm gonna import. So as this is the base solution, if you click on next, it will ask for the kind of operation what you want to do. Upgrade, update, update. So last time we tried upgrade, right? So it got deleted. If you now this time, let's go with see if you see replace your older version. This is not allowing. Let's go with stage for upgrade. Clicking on import. So what's the difference between stage for upgrade? Let's see now. So once it's imported, if you check that, if you select that solution, it will have like click for upgrade, click for update like that. You will have option. So one thing you need to remember, solution means basically it will be a container. It can hold table, it can hold apps, it can hold JavaScript, it can hold anything. All kind of CRM components will be can keep in solution. We will use solution to move that components from one environment to another environment. That thing you need to understand. Okay. So that's all for today topic. So whatever we are doing, everything we are doing manually, right? So that's why this is a manual deployment, export, importing. So for the same process, you will be having automatic CI/CD deployment. That we gonna learn at the end of the sessions. I'm just skipping that class because I don't have Azure DevOps trial. So I'm parking that class for now. So at the end of thing, we will be creating one trial and we'll be adding. Okay, that's not a blocker for your understanding. So basically deployment here you are doing manually in in that CI/CD pipeline. It will do from Azure DevOps pipelines. Okay, it will take some time because this is base solution, right? So we just have to have some kind of review session. Let me see the availability. If everyone is available, we can have the by this weekend only. So this is 14th class, right? Yeah, we should have one. Imported successfully. Now if you see you have patch, you have base solution, you have upgrade solution also you have. If you click on this upgrade one, let me upgrade. See if you see on the base solution, if you click on apply upgrade, whatever the change you have it, that will come now. Okay. So if you see both solutions are available, upgrade base solution and upgrade solution. Once you feel like I am ready to merge the changes, I am ready to move the changes, that time what you will do, you will just click on this apply upgrade. So whatever the third solution is there now, that will be merged automatically. So if you use the stage for upgrade means like you are parking for a side after certain time I will do like that you are just mentioning. Any questions? So what I did, I was added an app, right? You could see that app from here as well. My September week. This is in the sales, right? But where did I created this app? I created this app in the service. But as I exported and imported, I would get the changes here, everything. So if you want to change anything here in the sales app, as we user managed, you have to make changes in the service, then only you have to move it. You can move it to here. So if you want any label change, if you want a table change, if you wanted any new table, everything you want to do it from a target environment. Okay. So that's how the managed works. So it is solutions. Click on managed. That's okay. It will merge. We can. I will show it in the next class. That's all for today.
One doubt.
Yeah, is one.
In manage solution can create a records.
That's what we can't create a records. Records will be now. If you see upgrade solutions subsidiary showing. Now if you refresh, what we did for this upgrade, we just created new field. Huh? Just forgot. What did we do? Now if you see earlier we have basic solution, patch solution, upgrade solution. Everything merged into single because you just made a upgrade. So upgrade will do, it will consolidate everything. Okay. So what I did, I created a column. Huh? Let me go to import origin owner. I did last time. Something else I created, right? I created form. That's okay. So like this, you will be moving. So what you are asking, you can't move data with solutions. Solutions will be used for moving raw content like table. Table is a kind of, it will have the template. What should be the table name? What should be the columns name? What should be the forms? What should be the views? So solution will be used for moving the components, not for the data. Data movement we will be doing with the last class we have seen, right? Data management, export files, import files. So records can't be moved through solutions. Clear? So with solutions, you can move the components. Like to work this as a to work this app, one component should be needed, right? The backend thing, like skeleton, will be moved with help of solutions. Now you can use Google like what are the components we can include in the solutions. If you search for it, everything it will show. You can add business rules, you can add fields, relationships, everything. Okay. Any questions?